Welcome to Community Church Unitarian Universalist. I am your worship associate, Bill Rochelle, and it is my genuine pleasure to be with you today. Community Church is a progressive, open-minded, and inclusive religious community. We welcome all who are on a spiritual search for truth and meaning. Ours is a faith in action as we do the work of social justice and elevate compassion in our quest to live ethically, recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of every being. Please look to your weekly email for announcements. And speaking of announcements, we have one today from Deborah.
Good morning. For those of you who I haven't met yet, my name is Deborah Salvador, and I'm on the board currently of CCUU. But my announcement today has to do with Together New Orleans. Several of you are familiar with the work of Together New Orleans and have participated in activities, but basically Together New Orleans is an organization of organizations across the city. Most of them are churches, but we have labor unions and other civic organizations. And the goal of Together New Orleans is to identify issues that affect us as citizens of New Orleans and work on those issues to come up with solutions that we can present. We have met with people, the mayor, city council, various people that we can work with on these issues. We developed a people's platform last year that was presented to then candidates for mayor and city council at an event in September of last year at Xavier. And those candidates all signed up, said yes, they agreed they were going to sign on to working on these four general topics and the information that we provided and the suggestions we're providing. And now almost a year later, what we are doing is we're going to do a series of what are called civic academies, where we bring everyone to have an idea of what it is that we're doing, how we did it, and also encouraging people who would like to be involved to also become involved in the activity. And that being said, we will be, as one of the member organizations that is hosting one of these civic academies, we will be hosting one here at CCUU next Sunday afternoon at 4:00 in the fellowship hall, dealing with one of those issues on the People's Platform, public works. Now, I know that sounds like, oh, well, this is great. Sounds like a great way to spend my Sunday afternoon sitting around listening to public works. But I'm going to tell you, I went to one that we did, the first one that we did last week on energy reform. And so the talk was all about electricity and microgrids, really exciting stuff, right? Well, I was really amazed. Everybody was really into it. I didn't see people texting on their phones. They were really into it because we're talking about issues that affect all of us and what we can do on those issues and what Together New Orleans specifically has been able to do in a fairly short time to address these issues. So what I'm here to say is, please make it an effort to attend the event, because it is going to be more interesting than public works, the title sounds like, I promise you. And it's a good way to see what's going on in your community and how you could be involved, no matter how small way. Sometimes it's just a matter of, calling your council person or whatever, that, you don't have to go out and work on teaching civic academies or anything to be a part of this movement. So I encourage you. I have put flyers outside on the office door and on the fellowship hall door. There is a QR code and also the website where you can go to sign up. And I encourage you to sign up. And also anybody, friends, neighbors, whoever you think might be interested, to please attend. Thank you.
We would like to welcome any new and returning visitors today. We hope you will stay after the service for refreshments and fellowship. In the spirit of fellowship, please turn to your neighbors, especially those you may not know, and say hello. We are delighted to welcome our own Michele Firestone to our pulpit today. Michele has been a member of CCUU since 2021 and was formerly a member of North Shore UU for many years. She is currently co-chair of the worship ministry and chair of the community justice ministry. She is a happily retired paralegal and lives with her 13-year-old puppy, Rue, who has recently become the unofficial mascot of CCUU Game Night. First Saturday of every month, people.
Our opening words are by Sherry Woodbury. Welcome who come in friendship, who long for genuine community.
May you be graciously received here as your authentic self.
Welcome who come in curiosity, full of questions or simply open.
May you embrace wonder and encounter new delights.
Welcome who come heavy with fatigue, weary from the troubles of the world or the troubles of your particular life.
May you rest and be filled in this sacred space.
Welcome who come with joy for flowing rivers and gentle breeze, for changing skies and great trees.
May the grace of the world leave a lasting imprint in you.
Welcome who come with thanks for the altruism of the earth and the gift of human care.
May your grateful heart overflow and bless those around you.
Come, let us celebrate together this wondrous life.
It is our ritual to light a chalice invoking hope and eternal truth to our worship. Please join us in singing the words of the chalice lighting printed in your order of service. Community and the fire of hope and commitment. And now let us sing out the children. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of life surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of life surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Our first reading is from the Bible, Matthew 25, verses 35 to 38. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me.
Now is our sacred time of joys and sorrows. If you are online, you may write your joys and sorrows in the comments section to be read aloud. In person, you may write them on one of the cards being passed out by our greeters. Please remain seated as we sing hymn number 346, Come Sing a Song with Me. Sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love, rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love, rose in the winter time. Walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love, rose in the winter time. Share a rose with me, come share a rose with me, come share a rose with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Oh, please. Oh, here.
I think you can hear me. Can you hear me now better? Yes. I was hoping to do this without the mic, but I have come here today with sad news. We have lost Dorothy Smith. She passed on yesterday. Fortunately, she was with family who loved her. For those of you who do not know her, she was an engine of this church. I have some contact information for her. Her niece took excellent care of her, and I was so pleased that I could come here and tell you in person about it. So I'm going to leave this information up here for her contact. As some of you may know, her family in Wisconsin came and took her away with them when she became too ill to take care of herself. They have taken excellent care of her, and I'm so pleased that when she passed, that she had family who looked after her and cared for her. This information I will leave here on the table. Thank you.
And we'll bring that to the fellowship hall after the service for anyone else who wants to see it. Yes. From Jack Montgomery. While not a joy, I take comfort and relief in learning that my cancer is localized and therefore will be easier to treat with fewer complications and greater chance of success. From Liz, a joy to see many new faces the past few weeks. Welcome. Also a joy, today's sky is gorgeous. It's true. And from Michele, a joy that Jim is doing well after surgery. This is Jim O'Neill, our own Jim, is doing well after surgery to remove a blockage from his carotid artery and has no residual effects from the TIA. He sends his love to all. And from Jacqueline, home from a visit with third son's family in Illinois. It was cool and beautiful, birds everywhere, truly a retreat. Also a birthday, 82. Now, let us light 2 more candles and pause for a moment of silence, recognizing the joys and sorrows of those in our community, spoken and unspoken.
Our second reading this morning is actually just a few quotes I collected from some great storytellers. From Maya Angelou, "There's no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside yourself." From Joan Didion, "We tell ourselves stories in order to live." From Tim O'Brien, "Fiction is the lie that helps us understand the truth." From Joseph Campbell, "Myth is much more important and true than history. History is just journalism, and you know how reliable that is." Actually, my original major in college was journalism, so I might take a little issue with that, you know. Jim O'Neill was scheduled to deliver our message this morning, but as you heard, he had more important things to do this week. He will share his poetry service with us in a few weeks. Jim is my very good friend, and he and I went to see the Odyssey last Monday. And we had an interesting conversation afterwards. And I think it left us both with a lot to think about. There's a lot there to unpack. When I realized on Wednesday that I would be giving the message this morning, it was still rolling around in my brain. And I thought it seemed like a good place, a good starting point for a message this morning. So Jim, this one is dedicated to you. I assume most of you know at least the very basic story of the Odyssey. Maybe you've seen that wonderful film, "O Brother, Where Art Thou?", which is a retelling of the Odyssey set in Mississippi during the Great Depression. I still think of John Goodman as the Cyclops. He was a really great Cyclops, and very different from the one in the Christopher Nolan movie. But just in case you've forgotten your high school mythology, I'll give you a brief synopsis. The Iliad and the Odyssey are companion stories written by Homer. They're epic poems. The Iliad revolves around the Trojan War, and the Odyssey focuses on Odysseus's return to Ithaca after the war. Odysseus is one of the lesser characters in the Iliad, but he does play a key role. He was the one who came up with the idea for the Trojan horse. In the Odyssey, Odysseus, the king of Ithaca, and his men are trying to return home, but they're met with many trials, tribulations, monsters, gods, nymphs, witches. The Odyssey, like any great myth, is full of timeless themes: leadership, fidelity, homegoing, brains over brawn. But I'm going to focus on hospitality, which is a big theme, and the importance of storytelling. In the movie, Christopher Nolan refers numerous times to Zeus's law, which he presents essentially as the golden rule: treat others as you want to be treated. It's a very common theme in most major world religions. And as my daughter Callie noted, Nolan kind of beats us over the head with that theme. There's nothing subtle about it in the movie, or probably in the poem either. In the original epic, it's called Xenia, Xenia, which was more about the law of hospitality. It literally means guest friendship. You welcome the stranger and provide food, comfort, and a place to stay before you even ask them their name and the reason for their visit. It was believed that the gods would sometimes disguise themselves as travelers or beggars. So if you didn't provide hospitality to a stranger, you might be rejecting a god, and there would be serious consequences for that. According to the policy of Xenia, guests also had a responsibility not to overstay their welcome or take undue advantage of their hosts. It was a reciprocal relationship, and hopefully still is. And we see a number of places in the story where hosts and strangers get crosswise with each other, and there are serious consequences. Let's just say the Cyclops was not the best of hosts, and Odysseus and his men were not the best of guests. And everyone paid for that. The Cyclops, who happened to be the son of Poseidon, was blinded, and some of the men were eaten. And then Poseidon exacted his revenge on Odysseus by making his voyage much longer and more treacherous. It was 10 years total. It took him 10 years to get home. And that's definitely not the only example of poor hospitality or bad guests in the story. Xenia was vital in ancient civilizations because there were no modern hotels and restaurants, and travelers needed a place to stay and something to eat. It was also important for diplomacy and commerce, and it fulfilled certain religious duties. In Christianity, Jesus talks about welcoming the stranger. In Catholicism in particular, Saint Benedict wrote an entire book on prayer, study, and hospitality. And Benedictine monks to this day devote their lives to those values. In Islam, the Prophet Muhammad strongly encouraged welcoming guests with generosity and kindness. Hindus are taught that to treat unexpected guests with the highest reverence, and as if a deity were visiting their home. And the Buddha taught that hospitality should be extended freely to all people, regardless of their social class, caste, or religious background. So why should any of this matter to a group of Unitarian Universalists in the United States in the 21st century, especially in New Orleans, where we have tons of hotels and restaurants? Well, I'm going to tell you why, at least in my opinion. About a year and a half ago, when I was board president of this congregation, I received an email from Reverend Alex, the minister of Lakeview Presbyterian Church. He lives right across the street, right across from the park on that corner, kind of close to that corner there. Kathy and I, and probably some others, maybe Sean, met Reverend Alex when we opened our community lighthouse here after a storm 2 years ago. He's got 3 kids, and they live right across from the park, so the kids play at the park all the time. He sent a message saying there was an unhoused man living in the park, and he wondered if we would be interested in collaborating to help this man out. I wasn't sure what that might look like, but I asked a couple of people what we could do. And by the time I got back to Reverend Alex several days later, he let me know that the police had come and taken the man and presumably relocated him. So the man was there for several days, though. Why didn't I just go over there and find him and ask him if there was anything he needed or anything we could do to help him? Or invite him to come get some food from our little free pantry? I'm going to be honest. I was afraid. Not afraid of being physically harmed, because I could have brought somebody with me, but afraid of getting too close to someone who obviously had big needs. If I went over there and asked him what he needed and relayed that to other people in our congregation, now I would be in charge. Now I would have to make sure his needs were fulfilled. I was afraid of not being able to help enough, or of it taking up too much bandwidth, not time, but bandwidth in my brain, which is becoming more and more limited. Afraid that some people in our congregation of what they might say or think if I invited this man to coffee hour on a Sunday. And don't get me wrong, I think the vast majority of people in this congregation would be very welcoming to someone like that. It wasn't about that. It was about my own fear. I don't think the gods would have been very happy with me. I was not practicing the law of xenia. And that's something I need to look at in myself. I would say that being a community lighthouse is an act of xenia, or radical hospitality. When the power goes out from a storm, our church opens its doors to neighbors, friends, and strangers, and provides them with a place to cool off, get a snack, a cup of coffee, charge their devices, and hopefully share some fellowship. We don't have to do this. We want to do this. It has become part of our mission as a church, and I'm really proud of us for that. And thanks to Kathy for making that happen. Hospitality doesn't just mean giving someone a meal or a glass of water. It's also having a conversation. It's listening deeply. It's sharing stories. It's getting to know people. I love hearing stories. I love reading stories. And I particularly love books that delve deeply into people's lives and psyches. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And in fact, I kind of prefer the ugly sometimes. I've become known in our women's book club as someone who picks the downer books. But I love those. I can't help myself. When we share meaningful, deep stories with each other, something magical happens. It's alchemy. It's way more than just two people sharing words. A bond is created. There's transformation that happens on both sides. We see each other differently, and almost always in a more human and compassionate way. We have a deeper respect for the other person. How many times have you had an opinion of someone, and then you hear their story, and your opinion of them is transformed just by one story? It's happened to me a lot of times, and unfortunately, it happens a lot at funerals. You think you know the person who's being honored, and then someone stands up and tells a story about them, and you realize there was a part of them that you didn't know at all, and you wish you had known. They were even more wonderful than you realized. You wish you'd known it while they were alive. You feel like you missed out on an important part of their life. I strongly believe that if ICE and Border Patrol agents were matched up with immigrants one-on-one and placed in a room together and had an opportunity to hear the stories of people who faced great hardship, leaving their homes and families for myriad reasons, they would begin to see those people as individuals and treat them with respect and dignity. It's a lot harder to abuse someone you know on a deeper level. We as a nation are not currently practicing the law of xenia. The gods would not be happy with us. Here's a little example of a story that changed my mind about someone. It was not someone I personally knew. A couple of years ago, I watched a series called American Sports Story, Aaron Hernandez. I don't normally watch shows about sports figures, but I was interested in his particular story, and the show left a lasting impression on me. I don't think it got fabulous reviews, but I recommend it. I think it was on Hulu. For those who are not familiar with Aaron Hernandez, he was a very talented tight end for the New England Patriots, and he only played for 3 seasons. He made some really bad choices and ended up being convicted of 1 murder and tried and acquitted for another double homicide. And he shot his his sister's boyfriend in the eye, and I don't think there were ever any charges against him for that. And just a reminder, acquittal doesn't necessarily mean the person is innocent. It just means there wasn't enough to prove him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. There wasn't enough proof. So by all accounts, he was a pretty bad guy. He committed suicide in prison a few days after being acquitted for that double homicide. At first, when I heard about him being charged with murder, I thought it sounded like just another entitled jerk, a young punk who got too much fame and too much money too fast and couldn't handle it and went nuts. Then I saw in the news that he had committed suicide, and I thought maybe there's more to his story. And I think that's what prompted me to watch the show. It turns out that Hernandez was a closeted gay man who was bullied and abused by his father and was deeply ashamed of his own sexuality, as you can imagine in the NFL. After his suicide, his autopsy showed he had severe CTE. That's the brain disorder caused by too many blows to the head that we're learning more and more about that lots of football players get. But does a brain injury cause somebody to become a murderer? Probably not, but it's believed to cause erratic behavior and a lack of inhibition. Combine all that with people puffing up his ego and all that new money, feeding his sense of entitlement, and you can get a pretty toxic brew. Don't get me wrong, none of that is an excuse for committing murder or hurting people. But hearing more about his life made me feel very differently about him. I felt very sad for him. It's hard to hear someone's story and not feel empathy with them. Getting back to Odysseus and the Nolan film, in the film, Odysseus tells his story to the nymph Calypso as a way to remember what happened to him and his men. Calypso then provides him with passage home to Ithaca. But in the original Odyssey, after leaving Calypso, Odysseus lands on the island of Phaeacia. There he's welcomed and feasted, and he tells his story to the Phaeacians. They're so moved by his story that they are the ones who provide him passage home, and he slept the whole way home. I leave you one last story. You may remember that after the attacks on 9/11, 38 transatlantic flights were forced to land in the small town of Gander, Newfoundland, delivering over 6,500 passengers and crew to a community of 9,400 people. The citizens of Gander provided food, shelter, clothing, entertainment, and fellowship to the stranded travelers for up to 5 days. They arrived and left at varying times in those 5 days. There was a Tony Award-winning musical about it. And one of the travelers, a man named Kevin Tuerf, wrote a book called Channel of Peace, Stranded in Gander on 9/11. And here's a quote from that book. "We all found it was truly remarkable what everyone in this tiny town had done for us. We reflected on what it was that gave Ganderites their attitude of kindness to strangers. People told me that's just how they were raised. The people of Gander and all of Newfoundland have a deep sense of interconnectedness and compassion. They rely on each other, especially during the harsh winter months. It's not uncommon for someone to spend hours snowblowing a neighbor's driveway before their own. The cold temperatures keep them indoors a lot, so entertaining guests for meals, drinking, and dancing in their homes is a way to be happy. I wished I could export some of that hospitality and kindness around the world. We've seen countless examples of people helping strangers after terrorist attacks and natural disasters. But why can't we treat each other this way on a regular basis? Why indeed? May we go forth and treat each other and each person we meet as gods and goddesses."
Community Church Unitarian Universalist is a self-sustaining congregation. Members and friends' generosity help us do the sacred work of bringing justice, spirituality, and compassion to our community and beyond. You can give online, by text, or in person this morning. See the information on the back of your order of service for giving by text. And the hymn for the offertory is 331, Life is the Greatest Gift of All.
Our closing words are from Reverend Rick Hoyt. "Go forth, and when you have been away long enough, come back. Come back to one, universal, everywhere, and every when and everyone inclusive home, this beloved community of all creation that you can never really leave.
Please stand as you are willing and able for our closing hymn, number 407. We're going to sit at the welcome table and remain standing for the extinguishing of the chalice. Extinguish the chalice here, that it may glow gently in our hearts. May it light your path as you leave this place. May it guide your way until we are together again. Please join us for refreshments and fellowship in the fellowship hall.